Hey sweets, and welcome back to my channel. Today we've got an extra special guest. We've got CARYS here. Here she is. She's here to help me rank the lip syncs of season 7. Yes, I decided to let CARYS join me today. It was entirely my idea, nobody else's, it was just my idea.
It's totally your idea, 100% your idea.
This is CARYS' favourite season, and I'm sure she'll explain why during the video. Do you want to say a little hello?
Hi! I've never been on someone else's channel before. This is exciting.
So CARYS is here today. Also, I've linked her channel in my description if you want to go check her out and send her some love. We have just tried to do a video together and my camera stopped recording.
Well, it didn't just stop recording, it just didn't save it at all.
So, without any further ado, let's get into season 7. So, in last place, in 15th, we put episode 9, which is Pearl vs. Fame to Really Don't Care by Demi Lovato and Cher Lloyd. What do you think of this lip sync then, CARYS?
I mean, in the wise words of Ginger Minge, Fame's just not a performer, is she? I think it's lacking. Because we know Pearl, you know, her movements are very off. Her charisma's very down, especially when she lip syncs. And I think if putting those two together in a lip sync battle is just kind of like stacking pencils, it's just not gonna work.
It was destined to fail, wasn't it? It was like, because Pearl's been read many a time for not having much energy, for being a sleepwalker, and Fame is more of like a runway kind of girl. Her face, her clothes, but performance, not really the tea, is it? I mean, they kind of try, and they had like spats throughout the season, so this song kind of works with that. But this lip sync is just memorable for how shit it is.
Yes, that is very true.
Next up in 14th place, we put the grand finale, Pearl's lip sync, which is Sleepwalker. Describes it right, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very fitting. I honestly don't even remember that much.
Yeah, no. I guess it works for Pearl. It works for her. You know, she's a sleepwalker, and it was kind of her storyline on season 7. But it's just not that good.
It's not at all. But at least she's consistent. She's kept up the, you know, that kind of persona. She's not kind of suddenly come out of a shell.
I mean, even the, like, production values of it with the backup dancers and the choreo, the only really, like, wow part of it is a mirror that she looks into, but everyone looks in a mirror every single day. So, this one doesn't give me that much life.
No, not it, sis.
So, in 13th place, we put episode 4, which is Trixie vs. Pearl to Dreaming by Blondie.
Why is it all something to do with sleeping with this gal?
There's no surprise there, really, is there? As to why that's so low on the list. I mean, it was controversial then, it's controversial now. Miss Trixie. The only person that tried was Trixie, and then when she was sent home, even the other queens were, like, gagged.
Katya and Miss Kasha Davis in the episode after. I truly gagged.
Yeah, they were not happy.
No, I think Pearl's just got this tendency to do this weird arm thing all the time. It's the only part of her body that seems to move. It's just not, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Trixie looked so cute with that little outfit and all those little, it was the perfect song for Trixie to perform to. And it just...
Yes, very that.
I'm gooped, gagged and goggled.
It's like, it wasn't even the lip sync mattered. I feel like Ru just decided he preferred Pearl to Trixie and then was like, nah, we're keeping Pearl, sorry Trixie. and then probably realised that the fan base would not like that because there was no other, like, alternative queens on that season, apart from maybe Max. But, like, I think they all looked so similar and did very similar things. People wouldn't have been happy, and people weren't happy. People are still not happy. I was furious the first time I watched it. And I couldn't even think of, like, a favourite part of this lip sync.
Actually, I can think of one.
Oh.
When Trixie pretends to yawn and, like, glides herself across the stage.
And when she does the little cup of tea thing as well.
I think Trixie's
That's
arm
very
movements, little movements like that. Very Trixie.
Yeah.
Very cute.
In 12th place, we put episode 1, which is Candy versus Tempest to Geronimo by RuPaul.
It's just, Candy just looks like she's about to go beat you up.
I know, even her, like, split and then when she's twerking, even that's aggressive.
There was so much energy in that lip sync. Despite it being low down on the list, there was, like, energy that didn't feel right.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because obviously, I mean, I think this is definitely not the kind of song that Tempest would really perform. Because it's so, like, high energy and upbeat. But, I mean, she really tried. It just kind of didn't really work, I guess.
What was that weird
And I don't
movement
like
she did,
Candy.
as though she was, like, driving a car?
Oh my god, I don't remember that. I need to go back and watch it. See that? I do remember
Jaden.
saying the Miss Squiggly Arms. I remember that as well.
Oh yeah, I don't know what
I
Miss
remember
Crab
that as
Lady's
well.
doing, but Miss Squiggly Arms over here is turning it out.
Yes, that's it. The bearded hoe. I love that.
The bearded hoe is turning it out.
In 11th place, we put episode 7, which is Jaden Dior-Fierce versus Max to No More Lies by Michelle. I don't really remember this one, to be honest. I mean, I feel like that's why it's kind of like in the middle ground of this ranking, because I don't really remember it. I remember Jaden, like, freaking out and doing this very strange movements that kind of work with it, but I don't really remember what Max did.
Max served more of a attitude thing. She, like, removed, I think she was wearing gloves.
She was. It was the snatch game.
Yes. She was, like, she took her gloves off and it was all very, like, I think she did more attitude and face than extravagant jumping around the stage like Jaden was doing, which is not a bad thing because Jaden is a fierce lip syncer, hence why she survived 2 of them. I don't think it's a bad lip sync, but I might be just biased because I love season 7 and everything about season 7. So I think probably, I mean, Max didn't do that much compared to Jaden, but I think it's just because that's her way of performing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I hate how this episode treated Max. Like, this is probably my least favourite episode by some of the Snatch Game performances, because of how Max was treated. And then obviously the whole thing on the runway of when she, like, nearly fainted and then production made her look like she was a freak. I hated that. I absolutely hated that. And I know that she spoke about it since and said that, you know, Ru asked her to sing something and she sang something else and that's why Ru was pulling the face, and it's all very bizarre and I don't know why they decided to do that to Max.
I guess it
Max
was
was
just
a very
so
nice
they
person.
had an excuse to send her home.
Yeah, I think so. I think because, I mean, she did really well in the Shakespeare episode and in the, is it the Despy Awards? I don't really remember it. I've watched it a couple of times since writing up this, like, list and doing the rankings and everything. But it's okay. It's not terrible. I don't know. There's not really much I can say on this one. It's very sort of middle of the road. It's a fine performance. That's all there really is to say about it, I suppose. In 10th place, we have episode 12, the I don't even know what this episode's called, but it's the lip sync between Pearl, Ginger, Kennedy, and Violet to Born Naked. The song is Born Naked, but the episode, I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, this one, I don't
The episode's called The Rest Is Drag.
I'll take your word for it.
It is.
I hope it is.
It is. I promise.
I'm not saying it's not, I'm not saying it's not, I just can't remember.
Because the first episode's called Born Naked and the last one's The Rest Is Drag. It makes sense.
I like, because we get to see what the top 4 are about, you know, what they can do. Obviously, Kennedy was eliminated in this one, which I think she possibly shouldn't. But if this, like, lip sync is a deciding factor on who makes it to the top 3, there are 2 people in this lip sync that she outperformed. I mean, I know the top 3 in season 7 was a good top 3, but if it came down to the lip sync, she should have been in the finale over others, I guess. It sounds shady, but I think she's a very good performer.
Yeah.
But what do you think of this one?
I hardly remember anything from this lip sync.
Mhm.
And I think that's the case with a lot of the final 4 lip syncs that they did on the main stage, or the final lip syncs that they did before they took it to, you know, the main stage of like season 8 and stuff. I think I just don't really remember much of it. I remember Violet, obviously, because her look was amazing and the way she moved on stage really complemented the runway look that she was wearing, and it really did kind of pinpoint how unique and fashion forward she was. And this was the first time we saw her lip sync as well, so I mean, extravagant lip syncer, not really, but she knows how to do it in true Violet form, and it's a staple way of lip syncing for Violet, but Violet's the only person that I remember.
Yeah, she knows how to move her body, like, well, regardless of the type of song. It very much works. And I remember Ginger, obviously being Ginger, took, like, a comedic route to the song, which I don't think really works. And if it's the final 4 lip sync, I think you need to show that you're fighting to win more so than, look, I can make you laugh.
The song didn't need a comedic performance, because the song itself, the entire message and point of the song isn't something to be, you know, it's not funny.
No, I agree with that. I feel like if Ginger had have turned it round and done an actual, like, serious performance, that would have been very, like, interesting on her character arc and possibly bump her chances of winning up a little bit more. I don't know. It's a strange one. In 9th place, we have the grand finale, Ginger's solo performance, Pray and Slay. What do you think of this one then, CARYS?
I hate this. I hate it. I mean, in terms of, you know, the movements of being a lip syncer, like what you're supposed to do when you lip sync, I mean, she lip synced it. She nailed the lip syncing element of it, I guess.
She had good energy. She had, like, the right energy for the type of song.
Yeah, it made me feel a bit uncomfortable.
Something about it just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know. I mean, she looked great as well. She had a good look. But, like, there's something about the type of song that I think Ginger shouldn't have done. You get me?
It's good in terms of, like, what a lip sync should be, but other reasons might, you know, suggest otherwise.
Yeah, I get that. I completely get that. And she does like all of her classic, like, Ginger stupid faces, you know, she, like, crosses her eyes and weird shit like that. So she makes the performance her own. Like, she's good at taking a song and, you know, making her character a part of this song, I guess, and the lyrics she works well with. In 8th place, we have episode 5, which is Candy Ho versus Mrs. Kasha Davis to Love a Girl by Tina Marie.
I love this one. Candy's so good.
She really went all out.
That one bit when she's on her knees.
It's like when she becomes, like, you know, like Trinity K. Bonet in the Shaka Khan I'm Every Woman lip sync with April Carry On. And she's like, she does that, like, scream. It's so good. I mean, at the beginning of this lip sync, I think Candy starts off a little bit slow. She doesn't really go anywhere. She's, like, in the middle and kind of stays there, and then Kasha, like, goes around her. But then the song picks up, and so does Candy.
I think... I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I think one of the reasons why she might have just been a bit idle at the beginning is because she was trying to figure out how much Kasha could do and how much she could do better than her.
Yeah, because we'd never seen Kasha lip sync up until this point, so we had no idea what she could just pull out, you know. And she did a good job as well, I think.
She ripped that slip in her dress and she strutted across that stage and she worked it.
Yeah, and I mean, Kasha, she's got a very unique, like, personality. And I think she made good use of her personality in this song. Because the song isn't really a Kasha Davis kind of song, but like what I said about Ginger, she's good at taking the song and putting her character in that perspective.
Like she said, anyone can be a girl, but it takes a lot of balls to be a lady.
I love Kasha so much, like, there's always time for a cocktail. That's one of my favourite lines on Drag Race ever. I love her to pieces, and I wonder if we'd ever get to see any more of her, like on All Stars or anything. And I also, that reminds me of when she's eliminated after this lip sync, and Ru's like, ring Mr. Davis and tell him you're coming home, and she goes, he better have that box wine chillin'. She's so funny.
Ring Mr. Kasha Davis and tell him Mama's coming home.
Yeah, I love it so much. And she was part of that, like, she was part of that group that were like, they were the older queens who were kind of, wasn't it the Bitter Old Lady Brigade? Isn't that what they called it? Yeah, and but Kasha was part of that, but she was actually so nice to all the other queens. She's so lovely. I absolutely adore her.
That gives me a bit of Nina West vibes, to be honest.
Yes, Nina West vibes. I agree with that. 100%. I want them both to read me like bedtime stories.
Yeah.
They're very motherly. I love them both. Very cute. And it's a good lip sync, and Candy murders the song. She murders the stage. She like, oh, it's beautiful. So beautiful.
She deserved to stay 100%.
In 7th place, we have episode 6, which is Jaden Dior Fierce versus Candy Ho to Break Free by Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande!
Jaden Dior Fierce. Mama, she pissed on that stage.
She did. She pissed all over Candy, and the candy was no longer sweet.
No, she pissed on the stage, she pissed on Candy, she pissed on Ariana Grande in the judging panel. She worked it out. I mean, come on. And just the way she's dressed as well.
Yes, it makes sense.
It's perfect. It just works so well. Like, break free. She's breaking out of prison.
The half windmill thing, and I love it.
Yeah, that's my favourite part of that lip sync. I love it.
The fact that she looked like her head was about to fly off at any second.
Yeah, with the barbed wire, like, wrapped around her.
I feel like Candy really let herself down on that lip sync, though, because her runway look was very outdated and boring. So that couldn't really help her in any way. She kind of looked a bit funny. But honestly, I think she just really let herself down, because after those other 2 lip syncs that she did, she really killed it. I don't know, I just think she just didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like what makes that worse is the fact that throughout the lip sync, the camera is mostly on Jaden. So we get to see more of what Jaden's doing than what Candy's doing. So she might have done something really good, but because they decided to go with Jaden's footage and give her more of a reason to stay, I think it kind of was Candy's time, really. I do like it though, and it's a good song to lip sync to as well. They picked a good one. A good Ariana Grande song. Because they could have gone with any of them, but I think that one specifically is very, very good to lip sync to.
And because it's a very LGBT, it's an LGBT song.
Yeah.
And she's very pro LGBT. Like she was sat there and she was living her fantasy. She loved it.
She did. She does that thing to Jaden, doesn't she? After she does the little half windmill and then Ari goes like that. So it's like, yeah, she is getting her life on that judging panel. And, you know, there's nothing worse than two queens butchering a lip sync in front of the person whose song it is. And these two didn't have that problem at all. They both did really well. In 6th place, we have episode 3, which is Kennedy Davenport versus Jasmine Masters to I Was Gonna Cancel by Kylie Minogue. I love this one. Now, I know you have some certain opinions.
Okay, so I'm not a bad person.
It's one way to start it.
Jasmine was robbed.
There you go.
Rewatching that lip sync, I was like, why the hell did Kennedy stay? With that puby ass beard? What was that? What was that? Okay. Jasmine, the dress was beautiful.
So stunning.
The lip sync, I think she's a good ass lip syncer. She the movement she did, I think it was just so typically Jasmine, and she didn't resort to being pageanty like Kennedy did.
Yeah.
And I think I was so bored by Kennedy's performance. It's insane. I really was. Like she spun a few times, you know. What did you think?
Well, I don't know, because like you said, I don't really remember anything that Kennedy did, but I remember Jasmine doing the, you know, where she like squats and then jumps up and like goes in a circle. I remember her doing that, and like you said, that is very Jasmine. It's like kind of funny because she is a comedy queen, but also that dress, she should have won just from that dress alone. But like, yeah, and like you said, I like Jasmine's lip sync style. Like, obviously she was screwed over in All Stars 4. We'll get to that another time. But I think Jasmine won the lip sync over Kennedy.
Not the first time that happened, is it?
No. But I know Rue preferred Kennedy because Kennedy represented that, like, pageantry. Jasmine, not as much. And they kind of needed that representation in this season, like a black pageant queen. They definitely needed in the season. But I mean, I like this lip sync, and it's a good song for them to do it to as well, being two of the old lady group, and then doing like a Kylie Minogue song. Not saying Kylie Minogue's old, but like, it's not a new pop song, is it? So it works for them both. In 5th place, we have episode 2, which is Cashapp versus Sasha Bell to Twist of Fate by Olivia Newton-John. This is it's the second episode, and Katya messed up. Like, she knew she was going to be in the bottom. We knew she was going to be in the bottom. And then we got to see her perform, and it came out of nowhere. The moves she was doing just happened. Like, the back bends and the splits, and she went out on this lip sync. Like, I can't even put into words how good she is in this performance. I'm sure you'd be able to.
Okay, first of all, okay. First of all, bitch, the outfit. It's on my shirt. The outfit that she wore on on the runway was incredible. It was perfect, beautiful, stunning, everything. Katya is one of those people who will just pull something out of her ass last minute. Even if she planned it, she'll find a way to zhuzh it up a bit. And she knows how to provoke an audience reaction. And what do I mean by that? I'll tell you.
She's got a whole essay written.
My favourite part of this lip sync was when she did go down into the slow split, when the song broke down a little bit, and she stared right at bloody Paul. I can't even speak. She stared right at Ru, and you know exactly what kind of stare that was. You know what that was. You look at Ru's face after, you know, Katya looked at her like that, and you're like, shit, she's staying. Oh, me?
Yeah.
Me? You looking at me?
Sorry, Sasha.
Bitch, Sasha's wig was synthetic as flip. And her boob came out.
It did right at the end. It was hanging out. She looked like a I don't know, charity shop Lady Bunny.
She looked like someone who works in, like, New Look.
The hair was not it. The dress was not it.
I think she thought she was gonna win against Katya as well.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Katya in the first episode obviously came out naked, but other than that, they didn't really talk to her that much, did they? So I think Sasha maybe thought, Katya's like, whatever.
Katya is a dark horse.
A black horse.
Stop!
Come through, Jocelyn.
She's one of those people who will wither her way through the grass and come out whenever she feels like it, when she needs to, in order to get a reaction. And what reaction did she get? She stayed, bitch. And did she deserve it? Yes, she did.
And that's on today. Like, I was trying to think back to what Sasha did in that lip sync, and all I remember is the bit where her hair's like this and she goes... But I don't remember anything else she did, because just everything Katya did was so much better.
Oh god, always. Always.
Always.
Next up, in 4th place, we have episode 10, which is Ginger Minj versus Trixie Mattel to Show Me Love by Robin S. Trixie's back!
I love this lip sync so much. She's a woken bitch.
She was like, okay, I got sent home by Pearl. I need to up my game. It's like she went all out on this one.
That was incredible. I know she doesn't exactly like wearing brown hair or whatever, but the way she kind of moved in the lip sync really worked well with what the entire runway theme was about. She played two characters, which is something that Ginger didn't do, by the way.
She did.
I think Trixie killed that lip sync, and I think she would have done even better if Ginger didn't crawl underneath her and almost make her fall over.
Yeah, that was an Alaska All Stars 2 moment when she licked Katya's face. It's like, the rules are don't touch the other queens.
Something I've just noticed is that Ginger did the exact same movements as she did in her lip sync against Jaden.
Yeah, the thing of like pointing to her mouth and be like...
She was like, you know, when she like runs and she's going like that across the stage. She did that in both lip syncs.
Although Trixie did do the yawn thing in both lip syncs as well.
That is true.
I get you. And I mean, I feel like Trixie would have won that lip sync if she hadn't have already been eliminated. Because obviously if you're a returning queen and you're put in the bottom, you're going home. Which sucks because she could have made it to the finale, I think.
Oh, yeah. However, I feel... Well, it's not an I feel moment. Actual RuPaul's Drag Race fact is that she's the only eliminated queen to be brought back and stay for more than one episode.
She is. That is right. That is right. And you can see why. Because she's talented as hell.
She has really made a name for herself, and she's gone there. She's one of the most not popular. Well, yeah, popular, but she's one of the most successful drag queens, and she really takes her artistry seriously, and she cares, and you can tell, and she's fierce.
Very, she's got everything going for her. She's got her own shows, her tours, her music, her makeup. She's got everything going on. And it's like she's built this all herself.
She's opulent.
She is. She really is. I can't think of a best part for this lip sync.
I can think of one.
You've got a best part?
You've got a best part.
I've got one. She like does this little like, she's like right in the centre, and I think it's towards the end, and she does this.
Oh yes, I remember that bit.
I love that.
I also love Trixie's pose before she starts it. So like before it's even begun, and Rue's like, "Good luck," and she's stood there and she's like this. She's got like one arm out. It's so cute.
She's such a performer.
She was ready for that lip sync. She was so prepared for it. In third place, we have episode 8, which is Jade and Diorpheus versus Ginger Minj to I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany.
Why is that above the last one?
That's just how it was. That's how it came out.
Considering the way we just talked about it, you'd expect it to be a bit, the last one to be a bit higher.
I mean, I guess this one's just a lot of fun, because, like, obviously Jaden's working with Tempest and Ginger's working with Sasha. And they're working together and they just kind of have, like, a laugh with each other. And I don't think anybody takes this lip sync seriously. Not even the judges are taking it seriously. I mean, come on. Look at what Ginger is wearing.
It's a bit difficult. I mean, but look at who Jaden's attached to, though. I mean, it's kind of unfair, really.
Yeah, that's an unfair, like, disadvantage, because obviously they can't really move around if they're attached. Tempest is stood behind her, but then Ginger and Sasha are attached by the boob.
Favourite moments when, again, it's Katya's commentary. She says, Ginger and Sasha are giving themselves a mastectomy on stage.
I like when they're both laid on the floor next to each other as well, and they're doing that. I think we're alone now.
Although I'm surprised Michelle didn't go off, because Ginger was giving very much of a boy look by the end of that lip sync.
She should have been sent home for looking like a boy. I also just want to say that I love Jaden's like final message before she leaves the stage. You know, work that puss.
I love her.
I love it a bit.
She needs to come back at some point, or she needs to, come on, like, just give her another chance. She's so talented and so fierce and beautiful.
Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I thought she was going to be a lip sync assassin for All Stars 5.
I mean, All Stars 5's lip sync assassins were questionable.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Evie, and I agree with Morgan. In second place, we have the grand finale solo performance by Violet, which is Too Many Daddies. Now, Violet's one of your favourites, so do you want to tell me what you think of this one?
I think she nailed it. It was quintessential Violet Chachki. It was perfection, to say the least. She looked gorgeous. That's just what she does. And that's what I really liked about that lip sync. She stayed true to who she is, and she didn't kind of follow in, you know, the bigger personalities' footsteps. She went off on her own path, and I think that is why she won the season, because she's so unique and was something that Drag Race had never seen before. With the exception of maybe Raja, but Violet is young, and she could relate more to the demographic of who was actually watching Drag Race, and I think that final lip sync, it just solidified and painted exactly what Violet is about. And I think she's done absolutely nothing else but build on that persona since then, and she's not compromised any of her talents or way of performing for anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think at that point in Drag Race, more younger viewers were coming in, and with Violet being a completely new style of drag and being very young, she was very fitting as the winner, and it would have been, you know, between her and Pearl, really. But we all know Pearl wasn't going to be crowned after everything that happened in the season. But have you seen the video of Violet reacting to when she wins?
Yes.
I think she genuinely thought Ginger was going to win.
I think everybody thought Ginger was going to win.
Yeah, that's true. But looking back on it, I do understand why Violet won. So, in first place, we put episode 11, which is Katya versus Kennedy Davenport to Raw by Katy Perry. This is such a good performance. And, I mean, you can say Katya won, Kennedy won. I know, you know. But both queens undoubtedly put up a really strong performance and showed that they wanted to stay. It was so close to the finale, and they both really fought for it.
I disagree that they both fought for it. You want to know why? Because Katya had said herself that she was ready to go home. She didn't want to be there anymore, and she said the only reason why she did as much as she did do was because she wanted just for them to have a good, you know, put up a last good, you know, TV show. Like, it was for the telly. She said that she knew she'd messed up in the main challenge, and she knew she was going to be lip syncing, but she said that she had like a lot of panic attacks in the hotel room, and it got scary, and that hurts my little heart. And she said that basically the only reason why she wanted to, you know, the only reason why she did the performance that she did was because she wanted it to be good TV.
Yeah, and I feel like because of her track record, she didn't at that point have like a chance of, you know, possibly winning the season. So I think she kind of, the weight of everything really got to her by that point. And she was just ready to go, I guess. Because obviously up against Violet, who had done really well in the season, and Ginger, who was still there, and Pearl for some reason. But I think she kind of realised at that point, like, this is the end of the road for Katya. But what do you think of the actual performance?
I mean, they both did the exact same thing when you think about it.
Pretty much. They have very similar performance styles.
Both, you know, did all the splits and the kicks and the hits and whatever you want to call it. They both did it the exact same thing. The only difference was that Kennedy added altitude to the mix.
Especially when she'd done the jump off the stage. And then she was lip sync again. She was like, I am here to lip sync and I'm here to make it to the finale. Of course, that's what she did. The best part is the bit that always gives me chills. It's when Katya does the cartwheel and then lands in the split, like, on the perfect beat. It's just, it fits so well, and it's like, this is Katya's, like, last attempt, I guess, at some sort of being saved. But I think, as hard as she fought, I think she was ready to go, and her bags were already packed and by the door.
Yeah, I think probably, yeah, knowing her. The thing is with Katya and this song in particular, looking back at it now, watching it now, it just kind of makes you feel kind of fuzzy, because it's true. What the song is saying is true. I mean, look at where she is now. She's like a best-selling author in the New York Times. She's so successful. She's doing so well for herself. And back then, when you look at her back then, she was just so scared of everything. That lip sync, it was so true. Everything that the song said, it was going to happen for her. And I think that's why I get, like, emotional when I watch it. Another thing is just kind of about Kennedy again. I've just noticed this about Kennedy in general, not just in this lip sync, just any lip sync. When she doesn't know the words, what Kennedy tends to do is nod her head. She does that when she doesn't know what the hell she's doing or what she's saying. She did that in the Wrecking Ball lip sync by twirling around way too much in All Stars 3. And she spun around a lot in the lip sync with Jasmine. I just don't think that Kennedy should have stayed. And that's not because Katya's my favourite, it's not because of that. Because even at the time when I first watched it, I did not like Katya. Shocker. She should have stayed. Can we also talk about the fact that Katya was even in the bottom two?
Yes, that is a questionable placement when Pearl wrapped a blanket around herself and put a Hello Kitty head on top of hers. That's all she did. Like, Violet was stunning.
That was probably the
Violet's
only
outfit was
good one.
gorgeous.
That was the only brilliant one.
Yeah, I can't really remember what Ginger wore. And Kennedy's, she just took some bows off and stuck them on a corset, which is a reasonable bottom placement. But Katya made a jumpsuit. I don't think it should be in the bottom for... Can Rue make a jumpsuit?
I don't think.
I guarantee if Rue was to ever try and compete on Drag Race or lip sync for his life, he would go home like within the first 2 or 3 episodes.
I agree with that. Well, it's like that... was it the Christmas episodes where Michelle and Rue lip synced against each other? And they didn't even do it.
Lip
even
synced
do
against
it.
each other. That was so embarrassing. That was awful.
What was that about?
Oh my god, you all win. You're all Christmas queens.
So that is it for today's video. That is season 7 ranked. Thank you, CARYS, for joining me.
In this
You're
video,
welcome.
I haven't laughed this much in a long time. It's been a whale of a time, honestly. But like I said earlier, CARYS' channel is linked in my description. If you want to go check her out, give her a subscribe. She's going to be making videos very soon. We've got something extra special coming up as well that we filmed earlier, so you don't want to miss that. Thank you for being here. Leave a little like and subscribe if you're feeling nice, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.